How are you doing? How is the wine?
Great.
Good.
Fine.
It's funny playing with the camera because you feel like, also I am an actor, so I feel that there is a moment in which there is an action you need to perform, and really there is no performance. It's just us and having a nice talk in the chat. And a few weeks, what did I say, a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, they had the idea of saying, "Yay, let's make the people here at the college more busy. And let's have all the participants more busy in the night. They are not studying enough. And so let's invent the Saturday night." That's what happened. And they sent along an email and they said, "Do you like to do a speech, to have a talk?" And a few of us came along, and I believe me and Susan, or something like that. So beside the Thursday speech, now you have the joyful event of the Saturday night. I will try to be at 6:45. Help me stay on time. I am an in-time person, so I don't feel the time passing. Now I see terrorized faces. Help me be out through time and see my beautiful plan in front unfolding. And what I will talk about tonight, well, it's simple. Achievement and the way human beings achieve stuff, okay? And why we do what we do and why we try to do that better, and what's motivating us, okay? It's been always something very interesting to me, very dear. I remember I began my story with achievement when I was a martial art player. I am a second dan black belt of Aikido, and I played it for 17 years. And so along the time, in the 17 years, in the unfolding, I realized that there was something that was pushing me to study long hours on the tatami, the dojo, the sacred place where you go and you practice. So from that moment, I had the chance to have a great mentor. He was my martial art master, Aikido master. He was an Italian guy. Nothing, no? But he was really into the human development thing. So I was so lucky that the guy introduced me to Milton Erickson and NLP in my first days of development. I was 17 and I was reading Milton Erickson, My Voice Will Go With You. And by that moment, the human development stood with me. I would say that the guy seeded something. So from that moment, then in my life, I became a professional photographer and blah, 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 and so on. 14 years, you already know my story. Then I moved in acting, and I had always this urge for doing better and for changing my life. And I believe at a certain moment, I was quite aged, I began asking myself a question. And the question was, who I am? And that's a very bad question to ask yourself.
Who am I?
Thank
Who
you.
am I?
This is the water. I need some water. I said it to the camera. I have a, how do you call it in English? The one that the theater says yes. No, the one on the stage.
The prompter?
The prompter says. The prompter. I have my speaker prompter there. So the question is.
Well, Guido mentioned, and if I could just share that there was a little reversal sometimes of words. The other day, Guido mentioned the pitch sales. That you could do as pitch sales. Sometimes we have to reverse those.
As a native Italian, of course, as a Spanish native and French native, we have everything upside down for them. For us, it's perfect. You are reversed. We are perfect.
We have a problem.
We all know. Okay, so from this beautiful coach position, and I didn't have any coach position, I asked myself the question, who am I? And I began to do psychotherapy. I went in formal therapy. I was getting divorced, and I became an actor. And I tried to take on other characters. And the question stuck with me, and therefore in that moment the question of performance came out even stronger. So, and time passed, and I moved to America, and I learned this language, and the question sticks to me. I become a coach. And finally, I would say a couple of years ago, I hit a book called Drive from Daniel Pink. Who of you knew Daniel Pink? Drive. Okay. And that guy is stating in the book something quite interesting. Because today, yet still today, and when you go into even in corporation and you go in business environment, there is a strong belief that we are motivated to do what we do because there is a reward. Okay? There is a big carrot here, usually money, okay, dollars, and people are moved toward their reward, and they are trying to escape a punishment. Because if they don't do that, something wrong happens. So they move away from the punishment and they get attracted to the reward. That is excellent. What Daniel Pink came out with, which is quite astonishing, is that he didn't came out with that, but he put together a lot of researches. And what happened is that the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, did a bunch of researches. They put together a bunch of students and they made the student performing different tasks, from sport tasks to cognitive tasks and other things. The result was that, adding to the task, they gave rewards. So, to those that performed fine, the reward was a small reward. Then there was a medium reward for the middle level, and then there was the best reward for the top level. The result was astonishing. Guess what happened? Those that received the highest reward, their motivation and performance dropped. So they were astonished. The MIT was like, no, that's not possible. Because we have learned that in the motivational, when the motivation, and we call that extrinsic motivation, people is going towards something. Well, that has worked very well for many centuries. Not only in the Industrial Revolution, but I believe that also the Roman Catholic Church has known that very well. We had a Pope that invented a system for taking money and telling you, you will not have the punishment and you will have heaven forever. Okay, and again was, I avoid the punishment, I move away, and I move towards what I want. Awesome. Today's story is changing. It is because we are evolving, don't know, maybe not even Daniel knows it. The fact is that they took those experiments and they brought it to India. They did the same things in India, and not because changing the dollars or other things, they get the same result. The highest the reward, the lowest the performance. They were not happy about it. They took the experiment into schools, and they didn't speak about anymore dollars or what's the Indian?
Rupees.
The rupees, and about rupees, but they talk about reward for kids, candies and toys and things, same things. The highest the reward, the less interest. Actually, the group, there was a third group of study, the group that didn't receive any reward for their drawing kept being interested and completely motivated in becoming better and doing that for the pure fun of it. So, what came out from Daniel Pink, and if you want in the end I will write the name of the guy, Daniel Pink, the book is Drive, and if you want you can just simply Google or YouTube, and there is a 10 minutes presentation about the book, and in 10 minutes you have almost, not all, the major point of the book. And my intention tonight is not to give you something astonishing and say, oh my God, Guido. My intention is to let you know that there are this current of thinking. And what I did was that as I was studying this book, I realized that we have